Welcome back. Muckle Chapter 12. The last chapter after this, next week is going to basically be reviewing. I'll do a review video and then I will set up the final exam and then we're done. Political organization, the way a society maintains order internally and manages affairs externally. Internal management, external relations. Power, authority, and prestige. Power is the ability to compel someone to do something that they would not otherwise do. So I've already talked about coercive power versus persuasive power. We've come across this already when we're talking about the state. States are the ones that use the coercive power. Persuasive power involves changing someone's behavior through argumentation using religious or cultural beliefs, carrots rather than sticks. Persuasive power pertains in all non-state societies, although liberal democratic states like to believe that they exclusively exercise it. So you'll hear, we're a liberal democracy, so we don't have this coercive power nonsense, right? We have as much coercive power here as in any other state. It's only non-state societies, original human societies for the past, 300, 400,000 years that have true persuasive power, this consent of the governed thing. Authority is the use of legitimized power. So if you can convince people that when you hit them over the head, that it's the right thing, that you're right to be doing it, to force them to do something, then you have authority, I guess. Prestige is social reward involving positive reputation or high regard that can only be given to a person by others. So it's completely voluntary to get this prestige. A big man in Melanesia. These are non-coercive societies, and this is the South Pacific, Papua New Guinea, etc., Melanesia. Informal leader with high prestige who maintains authority exclusively through persuasive power, generosity, charisma, and wisdom, and frequently loses that authority and is replaced by another big man. It's a very much shifting leadership situation. Social controls and conflict resolution. We have internalized controls and externalized controls. So internalized controls have to do with means of maintaining order that come from within a society, sort of this internal regulation thing, policing themselves as part of its cultural values concerning what is right and wrong. So it's embedded in cultural values. It's naturalized and normalized as the right way to do it. This is a thankless task that no one wants to do, but we have to do it because it's the right thing to do. Shame versus guilt. Some cultures, according to the text, rely on shame. Conformity to social norms stems from wanting to live up to others' expectations. Punishment is done to face social criticism. Oh, the punishment is facing social criticism. If people criticize you, then you're being punished. Suicide may be an alternative to losing face, and that's in contrast to so-called guilt cultures, where you're conforming to your own sense of right and wrong. Punishment is supernatural in the afterlife. People suffer emotionally for having failed to live up to their own expectations. Externalized controls. These are means of maintaining order that is imposed from outside, meaning formal political structures and informal social action. So we have sanctions. These are punishments that can result from breaking rules, having someone else police you. Examples, escalating in severity. You can get grounded. If you're a child, you can get spanked. You can get gossiped about. You can be shunned from your community, your group, your family. People can boycott you, can block access to you. There can be blockades of your business. There can be blockades of the street. There can be taxes imposed on you. There can be fines, imprisonment, and finally capital punishment. You can be killed in many societies. Rewards involve positive reinforcement to encourage good behavior. Those are the carrots there. Types of political organization. We have uncentralized systems that have no central governing body. Small-scale societies like bands and tribes. These are the acephalous groups with no head, no boss telling people what to do. All decisions are made by consensus. So consensus says, of this, if we have 20 people, Majority rule would say, okay, 11 of you want to do this and 9 of you want to do that, so we'll do what the 11 want to do, the 9 just have to put up with it, right? Consensus is the opposite. Consensus is 19 of us want to do that, but one says no, so we're not going to do it, right? If everyone is not behind it, we're not going to do it. We'll sit there and talk a lot more. And this is why leadership positions are temporary and informal, because the leader is the person who can persuade all 20 people to do X. It's all behind it's all based on this persuasive power, talking and talking and talking and convincing everyone to do what you want them to do, voluntarily. And if anyone says no, I'm just not comfortable with it, then boom, we're not doing it. So centralized systems, of course, this is very inefficient for getting stuff done in a large group. So we have centralized systems that have a single central governing power, a body that has power in the group. Larger scale societies like chiefdoms, the persuasive power is held by members of a sustained lineage or clan. And then we have states where coercive power is held by the government. Now, from the cultural materialism of Elman's service, the argument is a society's organization is directly related to whatever adaptations are necessary to survive in the environment. It's all about survival. And Emil Durkheim developed this. He's the founder of sociology. He was also an anthropologist, and he argued that social structures govern human behavior. So we have mechanical solidarity. These are the social ties that bind together small-scale rural societies, especially bands and tribes. There is little coercion and low specialization, with most adults able to depend on themselves to live. As a result, groups can break apart easily. The opposite of that is organic solidarity, the social ties that bind together large-scale urban societies, especially industrial states. So, in those societies, there's a high degree of coercion and a high labor specialization with almost no adult individuals able to cope without lots of help. Imagine here that you are supposed to fix your car. Now, if your car was made before 1980 or so, yes, you could probably fix it. You can probably figure out the timing chain, and you take apart the points, and you figure out the spark plugs and the distributor cap, and it's all it's all pretty basic, straightforward stuff. But after about 1990, no, there's computer chips everywhere, and you got to have the computer to figure out diagnosing what's wrong with in terms of the electronic ignition or whatever. It's just insane, right? So none of us could even make our car work, much less figure out how to refine gasoline or get new automatic transmission parts. I actually have friends who got a clutch made from scratch. It was a piece of metal, the clutch plate destroyed on their car, and someone manufactured one in an Algerian mechanic shop somewhere in the 1980s. It was possible to do it, but not anymore. Nobody can do that anymore. And definitely, if you need clean water, it's really hard, right? So I often ask people, what's the most who's the most important person in society? And eventually, we talk around doctors and nurses, and we talk around police officers, and we're like, well, actually, who, if they stop doing their job, are we going to all be dead in the next few days? And it's the sewage treatment plant workers, right? Once this raw sewage starts bubbling out of your toilet and spreading down your hall, we're all going to get diseases. That's just how it is. The diseases will be shared. I mean, not when we're on lockdown, of course. If you're at home, you just share your disease with your family. But once it's in all businesses and all stores and all schools, yeah, we're all going to die of cholera. So that's really how it works in modern society. We are locked in to one another. We have highly specialized jobs, and if one person disappears, someone else who can do that job has to come in. We have to get a new water treatment plant person to run the water treatment plant because we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to run the water treatment plant. We don't even know how to do our taxes once we get anything more complicated than ordinary return. So the thing to remember here, though, is that mechanical solidarity, this is small scale societies, rural societies. This is where you have today the only people able to do that in the United States would be special forces people. But if you go to Brazil and find a hunter gatherer in the rainforest, anyone can do it. Anyone past the age of 12 or 13 can do ordinary life for them anywhere, at the drop of a hat. Uh, and that's mechanical because it breaks apart easily, right? These people fission very easily. That's why they have to be so careful to be kind to one another, because they can split apart at any time. Organic, here, what he's talking about is this connectedness, this close, tight, like organs in a body. It's not mechanical in that it breaks apart, that is organic in that we're locked in together. Everyone has the same everyone has close ties to everyone else. So you can be as rude as you want to your neighbor. It's not going to change anything. You're stuck there, right? Unless you figure out how to sell your house. You can be as rude as you want to your coworker, so long as you don't make your boss mad, because it doesn't matter, right? You're stuck there unless you want to get another job. You're stuck working there. So we're all stuck next to one another. Like organs in a body. That's what to remember. There's a video coming up. I'm not going to play it here because I got in big trouble. YouTube banned the video the last time I tried it in my other class. So I'm just going to post it here next in the comments, the replies on this announcement. Okay, watch your video and then come back and watch the next one.